Joining us now for more is Minnesota Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar. Senator, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You've known President Joe Biden for some time, briefly serving with him in the Senate as well. One can only imagine just how difficult this decision must have been for him. Joe Biden saying tonight that the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. What did you make of his speech?
I thought it was a beautiful speech. I think, to me, it reminded me of when he came into the office. He came into the office as someone who said he was going to save our democracy, and he did. He beat Donald Trump. He was there on the inaugural stage, and he talking about the soul of America and bringing people together. He didn't accomplish that entirely, but boy, he saved our democracy. And he put that out as a challenge to the American people tonight when he quoted Benjamin Franklin and said, "It's a republic if you can keep it." I also am someone that loved that he talked about passing the torch. As a young senator, I remember one of my first speeches on domestic violence. I was in the chamber late at night, and no one was in there. I think the pages were falling asleep. And I walked out and my phone rang. And I thought, is it my mom? Then I thought, no, my mom didn't even stay up to watch this. And it was Joe Biden. He, at the time, had just gotten out of the presidential race, and he took the time as a senator to call me, and he said, "Hey, kid, that was a great speech." And when Kamala went to Delaware, he kind of said the same thing. He said, "You got this, kid." That was him. That was him tonight, and I couldn't have been more proud of his decision. He took the honorable path.
Were you surprised by his decision?
I was not. I think this was mounting. As Jeff, who you just talked to, I think he was well aware of what was going on, a lot of discussions, and he ultimately decided that this was best for our democracy. And I just think he did it with grace, and he didn't waste time. He endorsed Kamala Harris right away, meeting with my Republican colleagues today and talking to a number of them that run the gamut ideologically. I think they have been really shocked at how quickly she consolidated her support, how quickly people came together and endorsed her. The joy that's out there right now of young people that say, "Hey, now generational change, I'm ready for this." Those were a lot of the people that were hanging on the sidelines, not yet ready to accept this candidacy, understandably having gone through the pandemic. She's going to be able to make the case for them. So while this is about beating Donald Trump and the negativity that he brings, the divisiveness that he brings, the breaching of our freedoms, what happened with Roe v. Wade, it is also about what she is going to bring to the table. And that is what I'm excited to see unfold in these next few weeks.
And tonight, Biden called Kamala Harris experienced, tough, and capable. You served with her in the Senate as well. How would you describe her?
She is someone that I always think about her posture. She is very, very stands straight and keeps her shoulders high. She is someone that just doesn't let the criticism get to her. She has a mission and she completes it. I watched her dismantle those Supreme Court justice nominees to show their true colors, which ended up being exactly right. So you're going to see on one side of a debate stage, if he is willing to debate her, you're going to see her making the case on what happened with those justices. And you're going to see him, who just did a video this year that said he was proud to be the person who overturned Roe v. Wade. Those are his words, not my words. You're going to see her, as a former prosecutor, make the case for the rule of law. And on the other side of the stage will be someone that has racked up over 100 felony indictments and a number of convictions as well. So I think you're going to see a very strong contrast. But sometimes what gets missed here is there's a joy about Kamala Harris. I ran against her. We became better friends as the election went on. I've seen her and Doug together. My husband and I have hung out with them. And I think you're just going to see someone who also has a joy about her that I think we need in our politics right now.
And what types of qualities do you think that she should be looking for as she tries to choose a vice presidential candidate, especially on an expedited timeline?
Sure. So I think number one, someone she can trust. Number two, someone that can just step in and govern. And number three, someone who augments her skills. It is speed dating. That is true. She is not going to be on the timeline of other people. But all of the candidates that I've seen on the list of the top ones have been vetted by voters. They've been vetted in tough races. I'm not as concerned about that. Because of who she's looking at, the quality of who she's looking at. And then finally, she knows them. She knows every single one of them. So it's not going to be like, hey, I've never met you before. Do you want to be my running mate? That's not what this scenario is going to be like.
Comments that were made by former President Gerald Ford in 1989 have recently resurfaced. And Ford was asked by a young schoolgirl what advice he'd give to a young lady who wanted to become president. And he said, it won't happen in the normal course of events. He thought that it would take an event like a president dying for a woman to become president. And I'm just curious, 35 years later, what you make of that response.
Well, I think I was the one on the debate stage at one point who said, if it was easy for a woman to become president, we could play a game called Name Your Favorite Woman President. And not only could we not play that game until Kamala came in, we couldn't even play the game of Name Your Favorite Woman Vice President. So we know this has been tough. Women have been held to different standards. After that race was over, there was some people looked at social media and they saw the kind of criticisms that were lodged at the women candidates compared to the male candidates, really getting at looks, really getting at in a way that none of the men had to deal with, getting at if someone, they loved it when they could say you were dumb. They loved it when they could say you were too tough. Those were the kinds of things that went viral. So one of the good things for Kamala right now is that we've been through this before with Trump and how he handled what he said about Hillary Clinton. Everyone knows what went on there. What happened to her in her past races. We're pretty attuned to this. And I think it's not just Kamala that will be defending herself. There will be an entire brigade of people that are ready to either call it out, laugh at it, embrace it, or most importantly, ignore it. Because the cause, as the president laid out in his beautiful words today, the cause of defending democracy is larger than yourself. That is the deal, larger than any personal ambition, as he so beautifully pointed out, and certainly larger than any one person.
Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, we thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's great to be on. Thank you.